this is MJ, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a cabled beanie with a flip up band. And I'm using Vanna's Choice by Lion Brand to make this hat. It's a medium worsted weight number 4, and I'm using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, so today I'm going to be using the color Oatmeal to show you how to make this hat, and I'll be working on the child size. If you're interested in sizing from baby to men's, the PDF will be available in my shops, my pattern shops, and the link will be in the description box. So let's begin by making a slip knot. Put that on the hook, and you're going to chain 24. Okay, so I have 24 chains, and now working in the third chain from the hook. So there's 1, 2, 3. We're going to work a half double crochet. So yarn over, go through the center of the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pulling through all 3. Go through the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And just repeat this along the whole length of the chain, and you will have 22 half double crochet stitches when you've completed your chain. So I've completed working across my chain, and now we'll turn our work and chain 2. Our chain 2 is not included as a stitch. And now next we're going to work into the back loops only. So as you can see, here are V's. This is the very first stitch, and we'll work into that stitch a half double crochet into the back loop only. So you're going down through the center of the stitch, pushing your hook through only the back loop, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So going down through the center of the stitch and going under only the back loop. So work each half double crochet in the back loop only of every stitch across, and you'll have 22 stitches, and that doesn't include the chain. So we're working on our ribbed band right now. And for the child size, we're going to work a total of 40 rows. So I'll continue to work my rows off camera. So just continue working in the back loop for every row, working half double crochet stitches. Okay, so here is my 40 rows completed. So just count to make sure you have 40. And now what we'll do is just fold our hat together, our band together. We'll chain 1, and now we'll slip stitch this together here. So to slip stitch, you'll go through the first stitch, and then you go over to the other side of your work where you're starting chain and pull through. Go through the stitch and go through the stitch on the chain side of the work, and just repeat this all the way down. So slip stitching, count as you go. You should have 22 stitches. Okay, so I've slip stitched all the way, and now we'll chain 1 just to get that secured. And we're not going to flip our seam to the inside because this hat, the band will flip up, so we want the nice seam to come up like this. So now what we're going to do is evenly around our hat, we're going to single crochet. Now for every half double crochet row we've made, you can kind of see them here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So for every 2 rows, we need about 3 single crochet stitches. So if you just eyeball that as you go, it will help you come out properly to your 60 stitches. So in this section, I have 1, 2 rows here. I should put about 3 single crochet stitches, and so on around the hat. So there's 1, 2, 3. So just like that. So I'm going to continue working around and I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, so I've worked all the way around. I'm at 59. So here is going to be my last stitch. So I have 60 stitches. And now we're going to slip stitch to join, and that will be in the top of that first single crochet stitch. Sort of see the V's here. So go through the top, pull through to join. And now we'll chain 2. And our chain 2 is not included as a stitch. So we will crochet right into that first stitch, a half double crochet. So yarn over, go through the stitch, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So now we'll half double crochet in every stitch around our hat. And our next row will begin our cabling pattern. Okay, so I've worked half double crochet stitches all the way around. Now we'll slip stitch not into the chain, but the top of the first half double crochet to join. And now we'll chain 2. So now our cable will begin. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip the very first 3 stitches. And we're going to work a front post treble crochet. So to make a treble, you yarn over twice. So 1, 2, 3, we skip 3. And we're going around the post of that first stitch, grabbing the yarn, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And now we'll make a treble, front post treble in the next 2 stitches as well. So yarn over twice, go under the post, grabbing your yarn, pulling up a loop. So we have 4 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So 1 more. Okay, so now we need to go back and work in those skip stitches. Now there's 2 ways to make cables. You can go in behind or you can go in front. And for this pattern, we're going to work in front because it's the easier way to do it. So what you'll do is you'll yarn over twice, and now we're going to come back over top and we're going to go in that very first skip stitch, which is right there. Again, going under the post, grabbing our yarn, pulling up a loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Yarn over twice, go into the next skip stitch or around it, yarn over twice, and then there is the last skipped stitch. Okay, so now in our next 6 stitches, we're going to work a half double crochet. So yarn over, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can count your post just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That this is the next one. We're going to skip these next 3. And then we'll work a front post treble into the 4th. So yarn over twice. And work your front post treble. Yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, yarn over twice. We're working this cable the same as we did the first one. There's no change in this pattern, and so now we're just working back into those 3 skipped stitches. So yarn over twice, 1, 2, 3, go over top, under that post, sometimes you may go through more than you should. There we go. So in total, we'll have 5 cables worked, and between each cable, 6 half double crochet stitches. So now we're just repeating again. We work a half double crochet in the next 6. And always the first row, it's always good to just double check you're getting the right stitches. After this row, it gets easier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know now we skip these 3 and work into that one. So I'm just going to keep working these off camera, and I'll meet you when we get around to the other side. So I'm just finishing up, and you should be ending with your 6 half double crochets. And if you end correctly with 6, that means you've worked correctly into each stitch as you've gone around. So if you haven't ended up with 6 stitches to work into, then you may want to go back and see where maybe you've gone into the wrong stitches. So now we're going to join. We're not joining to the chain, we want to join to the top of our first treble. So go through, and then we'll chain 2. So now this round, in our cables, we're going to work front post double crochets. So what you really want to do is spread your cable apart because it's twisted here. You want to work into these 3 and then work into the 3 that are over top. So sort of the 3 that are in behind, and then work into the 3 over top. And it will sort of separate out your cable for you. So yarn over, go under that first, pull through 2, pull through 2. See how I'm just stretching it apart so I can see those stitches. Yarn over, go around the next, yarn over, and the next. So we're going, grabbing the yarn, pulling up a loop. We have 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've got those 3. Now we'll get the 3 that are over top. And then we have our 6 half double crochets in between. So we'll work the same as the previous round, just working 6 half doubles, okay, and then we get to the cable again, pull it apart, make sure you're going into those behind stitches first. So yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull it apart so you're getting the right post to work into. And then we get the 3 over top. Okay, so now just keep repeating that all the way around and I'll meet you when we get back around to the other side. Okay, so I'm just coming around to our final section here and we're gonna work 6 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'll slip stitch into the top of our first front post double to join and chain 2. Okay, so now it's going to be a little easier to make this cable because we've already established working in our posts. So now we skip the first 3 posts and just really repeat what we did the first round. So we go into the next, working our trebles, so yarning over twice, going around already the established post. Whoops. So we work 3 and then we're coming back here, we're working over top, so yarn over twice, coming back to that first post, yarn over twice, sort of pull it apart, find the next post, yarn over twice, and find that last skipped post. You can kind of see how we have this nice weave happening now with our cable, and we'll work 6 half double and then we'll just repeat, continue repeating this pattern all the way around. So there's our post. We skip the first 3, work front post trebles into the next 3. If you're struggling to see them, just make sure you pull your work apart so you can find the correct post to work into. Okay. Okay, so I've worked back around and then we can slip stitch to that first treble to join, chain 2, and now we're just going to repeat. We're going to repeat, it would be, I guess, round 3, and then we're just going to repeat this for a total of 6 rounds. So once we get to our 7th round, we'll do some decreases. So we do a round where we cross over our cables, and then the following round we work front post doubles into our trebles. One, two, three, four. So I'm on 5. So we'll do another round of our cabling, and then I will meet you up again to do a decrease round. Okay, so I have worked a total of 6 rounds now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so our 7th round, we're going to begin to decrease the hat. So now we're back to where we do our front post doubles in our cable. So our cables will not change. We'll do our decreases in our half double crochet section. Okay, so 6 front post double crochets, and now we're going to do a decrease. So yarn over, go through the stitch, pulling up a loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pulling through all 4. Work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2, and we'll do another decrease. So now we've reduced from 6 stitches to 4 stitches, and we repeat that all the way around. So every cable we work 6 front post doubles, and then when we get to our 6 half doubles, we decrease the first 2 and the last 2 to reduce that section to 4 stitches. So I'll continue working around. I'm just about out of my first ball. So again, we're decreasing the first 2. And if you decrease by a different method, that's okay. I just like this one, this method that I use. It's not too bulky. And then decrease the last 2. So now again, we've reduced down to 4 stitches. Okay, so I've worked all the way around. I've slip stitched to join. We'll chain 2, and our next round, we won't do any more decreasing. We're just going to work in each stitch around. So we'll begin with our cable. So we'll skip the first 3, working front post trebles in the next 3. I won't go through these stitches as slow now, just because at this point you should be getting comfortable with working them. So going back into the skipped stitches. And now we'll work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4. And then we skip the next 3 posts and work 3 front post trebles. So we're just going to repeat this now all the way around, and I'll meet you up when I finish this round. And I've just come to the end of my first ball, so I'm just going to join on a new ball of yarn. And I'm just going to use a thumb join. Wrap the new yarn around your thumb twice. Lay the yarn between your thumb and your tails. Tuck your tails underneath. Just press and pull. And then just keep working. Okay, so I've completed that round, and now we're going to do another decrease round. So we're going to begin working 6 front post double crochets in each stitch. So we don't do any decreases with our cable. Our cable stays the same throughout the pattern. Okay, so now we want to decrease our 4 stitches here. So HDC 2 tog or an HDC decrease across the next 4. So we're doing 2. So we're reducing from 4 stitches down to 2 stitches. And then working 1 front post double crochet in each of the next 6. And just keep pulling apart your stitches there so you can see. You get the back 3 first and then the top 3. And 2 HDC 2 togs across the next 4. So decrease and a decrease. And you're just going to repeat this all the way around. Worked all the way around, we're going to slip stitch here to join. And then our next round, we will not do any decreases. We're just going to work our pattern in every stitch around. So you can just work through, work through your cable and then 2 half double crochet, cable, 2 half double crochet, and just repeat that all the way around. And then I'll meet you up for the next round where we will decrease again. Okay, so as you can see, our hat's coming in together nicely. We're going to work on another decrease round here. So let's chain 2, and now we're working 1 front post double crochet in each of the next 6. And then we're going to do a decrease one half double crochet decrease in each of the next two. So now we've reduced from 2 to 1. Work a front post in each of a front post double crochet in each of the next 6. And here. And then we do a half double crochet decrease here. And just repeat that all the way around. Okay, so I've completed that round, and now this is going to be our final round here. So let's chain 2. And we're not going to cross these over this time. We're just going to continue to work front posts in every post around. And we're going to skip over the half double crochet in the center. So there I've done 6, and now we're going to skip over our half double crochet section, and we'll just go right into working these front posts in the next 6. Skipping over and working front post. So just keep repeating that all the way around the hat, and I'll meet you at the end. So we're coming to the end. We're just skipping over that final half double crochet, and we're going to join. So now we've reduced right down to only 30 stitches, and you want to fasten off, leaving a long tail. Because now the final step is we want to finish pulling the top of the hat in. So take your yarn needle, and you're going to weave through the front loops only of every stitch around. You can do one at a time, or really as many as you can put on your needle. Just making sure that you're just grabbing the front loop of the stitch. Okay, so once you've gone all the way around, you just pull it and see how it just pulls the top of your hat in really well. You're going to want to knot it. So that it stays closed. And now we want to weave the yarn through one direction, and that's going to help pull it together as well. I just keep weaving until I get it closed up how I want it. And then once you have once it's closed well, then you can start weaving back in the opposite direction. So that's how the top of your hat should look. Once you've weaved enough, you can just trim that end. And I have an end in here to weave as well. Okay, so at this point you can flip up your band. You could make yourself a yarn pom-pom, and I'll have a link in the description box below for how to make your own, or you could purchase a faux fur pom-pom, or you can even make your own pom-poms. So I like to just attach that to the top. You can buy fur from your local fabric store to make your own. There's lots of tutorials. I'm actually thinking of going and looking, and I did them for small ones for my velvet slippers, but I would like to get some fur to make some larger poms as well. These here are brunette pom-poms. Once you pull through your weave in your ends, then you can just tie these in a bow so that they can be removed when you wash your hat. Okay. And the final thing I'm going to do here is add one of my personalized garment tags. And I'm just using a small yarn needle and some embroidery thread. I've made sure that my seam's off to the back, to the side. You can kind of adjust how you want to wear your cables. Push through to the other side, go up through the center hole, push up through this hole, go back down through the center, coming up through the center hole, back through the final hole. Whoops, I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing on that side. There we go. And then just come through that final hole, push up. Then you can just knot it and weave this end so that you can't see. And these tags are from Brick Bubble, and I'll have the link in the description box, brickbubble.ca. And she also will design logos for you if you want your own logo for your work. And there we go. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial and learned a new stitch and method.